I'm hearing it a little bit. All right, awesome, awesome. People are coming into the room. Welcome, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me get the comments over here. Guys, as you come along, guys, as you come into the room, go ahead and give us your city and state. Give us your city and state as you come along in the room. Grab pen and pad. Grab the pen and the pad. Welcome, welcome. All right. Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome, guys. Go ahead. Let your team members know if you want to send out a quick text, guys. You want to send out a quick text. Let your team members know that we are live now. Get them on, get them up. Live tuning in from California. All right, California. Hey, what's going on, Selena? How you doing? Welcome, welcome, guys. Going to get us, guys, your city and your state, guys. This is our team meeting. We're going to talk a little bit about credit. We're going to be talking about, guys, while our Credit Max is doing what they have to do. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the things that you can do. Okay, we're not going to be talking about guys, about 700 scores. We're going to be talking about 800 scores up in here. All right, Harvey, how you doing? Lynn, welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in, guys. Go ahead and tell your team. Go ahead and tell your team we're going to get rocking and rolling in less than 2 minutes. We're going to get rocking and rolling in less than 2 minutes. Accept my Facebook friend request. Oh, this joker. Hold up. He's not even on the thing. Hold on. I'm trying to get on the line. Hey, all right, guys. Get online. Make sure. I'm gonna see if anybody's trying to get up on the team page. This is the group page, guys. It's the team page. Go ahead and send it out to your team. We're gonna get going, guys, in about a minute. We got our special guest on here. We have our executive senior is on the line with us, and credit mortgage specialist. Don't be running. What's going on? And happy Memorial Day to everybody, guys. Memorial Day. Hope you had an awesome day so far. I know for some of you guys, like California, it's not over yet. But welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm trying to get to our team page actually real quick, guys. I'm just going crazy over here.
I see it on the team day limit page.
Oh, yeah, I'm on the group page actually right now. I was trying to actually make sure that people that was inviting are able, or somebody else needed to be approved is there. So I'm good. I'm good because it's a private page. All right, guys. We awesome. Welcome. Hey, family. We've got Georgia up in here. Don, hey, how you doing? Yeah, Toby, I am laughing at you. Toby's texting me over here, too. You know I got ADHD. I don't know why he actually texting me over here. You happen. Hey, Siku, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Siku Mary actually is on there as well. Guys, we got about 30 more seconds. We're going to get rocking and rolling. What's going on? Pen and pad, guys. Pen and pad for me. All right. Pen and pad. I need to see this meeting. Oh, okay. All right. And Mary, Pam is texting me over here too. Hey, all right, awesome. She said, messaging. She had just texted me about credit. Yeah, okay. All right, cool. Here we go, guys. Here we go. All right, team. I want to welcome each and every one of you to this week's training. Welcome to this week's training, guys. I hope you had an awesome time, an awesome week. Many of you guys are just blowing up. You are doing things, guys, that's out there, helping a lot of people to make wealth real, okay? I do want all of us to continue to actually do our cities and our state because we need to actually see how many people is all across the country that's a part of our team. Okay, I'm seeing California just tuning in today. All right, so we need to actually see how many people that's part of the team, guys, as we continue to grow, continue to helping other individuals to make wealth real. Okay, guys, we're gonna do something actually special, guys, and we're gonna do this several different times. Okay, to give individuals, our members, a little bit more education, if you will. Okay, guidance of some of the things that you may be trying to do, especially if you're using the membership. Many of you guys have, gotten into part of the membership for your own reasons. Some of you guys, are just saying, hey, I just need to get my finances back in order. Some of you guys are saying, hey, I'm trying to get a home. I'm trying to get a car. I need something for my tax. I need something for this and that, whatever it is. Okay. We want to do just a little bit more also here because we want to know what your financial goals are. Okay. And we know sometimes it's not just about the income making. I know making more money can help you out, but remember, as we said, even though some people make a whole lot of money, they're still in those stats. They still are living paycheck to paycheck. We know many individuals, remember, that's making $100,000 and more, and they're still strapped. They still live in paycheck to paycheck, guys. So 70% of people still live in paycheck to paycheck. You need to continue to learn how to utilize your money. Okay, how do you use your money? So we want to really actually start that. And this week, you know, I'm bringing on a very good, very good, very, very, very good friend of mine. Okay, guys, Mary Chaney Brouillette. Mary and I, Mary, we go back a long time.
Yes, we do. All the way back to McDonald's.
Mary and I, guys, go all the way back to both of us was working at McDonald's. I came here to Charlotte to go to UNC Charlotte, and we have known each other since then, and we have done a lot of business and stuff ever since, right, Mary?
We have.
Yes, we have.
One of each other's top referral partners.
Yeah. Bottom line, we are our top referral partners in our own businesses that we have. Guys, you guys actually know me, been in taxes forever, ever in the day. But and Mary has been in the real estate and mortgage industry forever, ever in the day. Okay, she's been there for a long time. We've done business together. Wow, you know what? When I first even met Mr. Brian House, our CEO founder, we knew each other then, and actually we was working together with Brian at that time, right? Mm-hmm. At that time, a long time ago, guys. But Mary is a specialist on a credit and what individuals need to get into a home, you know, like especially. And she has helped thousands of individuals to actually do so. Y'all might see Mary also on the radio station actually with me as well. She's been watching. We're all part of Coffee and Cash Flow, okay, as well as Money Talk on Sundays as well. So she's an educator. She has a book. Mary, you got your book. She has a book. You got your book, okay? She's wrote a book and stuff, guys, and stuff like and that, guys. And the cool part about it, guys, she's building a team here with us in MWR Financial as well. She's an executive senior, soon to be a higher level. She's just actually doing it. She's getting her guaranteed income, just even with doing what she's already doing. So if you guys know individuals and you guys on the line that are realtors and mortgage professionals and thinking that, hey, can it help you, especially get some additional income? You guys got fees, okay? So it can help you to actually cover some fees also as well. But Mary's going to help me to actually do this conversation today, guys, because, you know, we want to help individuals get into homes, get into whatever they're trying to do, but at a lower interest rate, right, Mary?
Right.
And a lower interest rate. And people can get into homes right now with doing certain things with their credit. We understand that. But again, as I say, we like to talk about 800 scores than 700 scores, because the higher the score, at least you get a better rate. And Mary, you as a mortgage professional and doing what you're doing, can't you get a better rate and better deals? And what all can you get when you have a higher score in the real estate industry? And why they need to shoot for the highest score actually that they can?
The higher the credit score, the cheaper everything becomes. And that doesn't just apply to the mortgage world. That's in anything credit that you do. But with the mortgage programs that are out there, you can get, you know, better down payments. You get better terms on your programs that you have available to you. Rates are lower. And then if you happen to be in a product that requires mortgage insurance, rates are cheaper when you have really good credit. So the higher that we can get your credit profile up to, the better overall picture that you have and the better terms that you get all the way around. And then outside of mortgages, when you're looking at credit cards and car loans and, you know, as we're moving forward into the business realm, even some business loans, that kind of gives you more stability, and it's actually going to lower rates and stuff that you have across the board on those items as well.
Awesome, guys. So basically, we're shifting. We are shifting and going in interest and the higher rate of interest from the mortgage companies, from the car companies, from the banks in general. And the higher your credit score means you're shifting all of that extra money that you can potentially be paying back to you and your family, back to your bank, guys. This thing is all about shifting. And we like to say, Mary, I like to say we are what living the shift. You know, Mary bought me this little, well, you see it over there in the corner. Mary actually bought me this sign that actually made and stuff. It says living the shift. I always actually have it there so I can always think about it, guys. And that's what we're supposed to be doing here, guys, as a team. Living the shift. So somebody, Mary, saying that they want exceptional actually credit, all right? Mary, what is exceptional credit? Let's actually talk about that for a second. What is exceptional credit? We got some good, some this, and we know some stats that people come up with something and show, but what's really acceptable credit?
Acceptable credit in mortgage terms is anything that's over a 600, but when you want the really good terms and the great rates, we're looking for anything that's above a 720. And the higher, again, you get your score, the more options and things that you have available to you. So it takes a lot of work and just kind of understanding how credit works so that you can work the game versus the game working you. And so what this whole segment is about is teaching you the things that they don't teach you in school about credit.
Exactly. We learn certain things about credit, guys. And the reason that we want to do it is because sometimes when you have a company like MWR Financial and Credit Max that's doing some of the things for you, Mary, there's some things that you need to be doing too, correct? Just some things you can be doing. So what you're saying is, when you talk about exception there, you're saying, hey, some companies, depending on where you are, may be able to do certain things to get you to that 600. And just because you can go and get a car now, or you get approved for a mortgage now, you think that you're there. But what we're saying is there's some things that you need to be doing now, guys, to increase that credit score even more, even while somebody's working on it, right, Mary?
That's correct.
Right.
And so,
go ahead.
Do you want to go ahead and pull up the screen for us?
I'm going to actually put it up actually right there. Guys, now, let me tell them actually where this is, Mary, first, okay? And then I'm going to let you roll. Okay. Guys, this is just in our back office, okay? Some people have to say, if you don't want to, have something from some people, just put it down in writing, put it in a book, put it whatever. Guys, this is underneath of the credit part in your back office right here and underneath of Credit 101. So that's some education things actually right there that you need to be doing while Credit Max is actually doing, some other things. If y'all hear my presentations, I always actually say that Credit Max, yes, can work on that 35%, which we know is payment history. The score is nothing but, and I like how my a good friend Ashley Flame actually says it, Mary. He says, your credit score is nothing but, did you do what you said you was going to do?
Mm-hmm, exactly.
He says that. Did you do what you said that you was going to do? You said that you was going to pay X amount of dollars for X amount of months and blah, blah, blah to do this. Did you do it? Because if you didn't do it, your credit is lower. Okay. If you did do it, it's higher. Now I'm going to let Mary break down this thing, guys, because we're not going to talk about the 35% on tonight's call. We're going to let Credit Max, if you use a Credit Max, guys, and we're going to let Credit Max deal with the payment history part, right? But again, we're talking about 700 scores to 800 scores. Mary, talk to us about that 65%. You can break it down. Tell us what we actually need to know or what we can do while Credit Max is working on those things.
Okay. So a lot of times, we're going out and starting our credit profile with, a student loan or a car payment. And it is a great way to do it, but those are installment loans and they're one-sided. So they're only going to take up like part of that 35%, which is your payment history. You need to get into the other realm. So 10% is going to be your mix of credit and having the different trade lines that you need to get yourself up the totem pole to get to that 800, 850 credit score, and it can be done. And so you've got to have credit cards, and credit cards are going to touch on a lot of things because not only do you get payment history out of them, but we can actually see how you manage credit. An installment loan, like a car, it is what it is. You're paying, $30,000 for a car. Your loan is based on that $30,000 that you're paying for the car. So all they're tracking is your history. And they have no clue how, if they just gave you $30,000, you would manage it. A credit card, though, if they give you a set limit, it doesn't mean you have to spend that limit. So your utilization on that credit card is a great way to manipulate credit scoring. And a lot of times while MWR is working on the 35%, then I can help you work on your utilization and the amounts owed, because that's another 30% of your credit score. Sometimes people don't have them at all, and sometimes they have them maxed out. So we look at both sides of the picture. If they're maxed out, I can kind of gauge where they need to be paid down. And what I use for a rule of thumb when I'm trying to raise credit scores is teaching people, if you've got a card that you've had for 2 years or more, so you've got history that's built up on there and hopefully good payment history, then let's pay it down to 30% or below, just not to zero. And then if it's a newer credit card, then we want to aggressively pay it down to like 10% usage, because it's going to max out the points that you get to help boost that score up while everything else is coming into play. And as I'm creating their credit profile, we're trying to get them to the mortgage so that under that 10% credit mix, they've got now a full picture. You've got a mortgage, you've got credit cards, and you've got a car. But the thing to remember is if 30% of your score is going to be in credit cards, that doesn't mean that you need 20 credit cards. And that's the mistake that I see a lot of people make, because as they see their score going up and they're like, oh, I'm going to go apply for this, and I'm going to apply for this, and I'm going to apply for this. Those inquiries are going to hit your score. You're going to end up in credit card trouble. And it's a great way to break down your utilization, because if you have one card, you've got 30% of your score sitting in that one card. When you go 2 cards, it's 15% and 15%. 3, it's 10, 10, and 10. So the more that you break out how many cards you have, the less work each one of those individual cards is doing for your score, because you're taking that 30% and stretching it out. So
you're saying, Mary, real quick, you're basically saying the first thing you actually said when you talk about the credit mix, number one, you're talking about you need to have, you said credit cards, you might, and installment loans, and basically the revolving credit and installment loans, right?
Right.
So you actually gave an example of installment loans being your car. What type of actually installment loans that are actually big for people can get? Guys, I hope you're taking notes and stuff, because you need to have this on your profile. We're building your profile. What are the type of installment loans that need to be there first?
Most people in the younger crowd are going to have their student loans, of course.
Student loans.
Now, and a lot of times I see that they're deferred, so they're not really building your payment history. Then you're going to have car payments.
Oh, hold on. That was big. I ain't let you go too fast. All right. I need somebody to hear that, Mary, because we talk a lot, a lot of times we talk negative about student loans, right? And again, my boy Action Flame always actually saying, don't get mad at Aunt Sally Mae, okay? Because Aunt Sally Mae on this credit card, they were the ones that basically said, you know what? I'm going to take a chance on you and help you to go to school, because that's what you want to do. Nobody else gave you the money to pay that bill off of the school, but Aunt Sally Mae said, here it is. Now you're not paying Aunt Sally Mae back, now you're mad at her. Don't get mad at Aunt Sally Mae. Right. But so you're basically saying that the student loan, special loan, can truly be your best friend if you basically, the more you say are paying on it, because it's not, in the permit, right? And it can be your best. Is that what you're basically saying? Right.
If you have it in forbearance or deferment, it means no payments are due for a period of time. And when no payments are due and you're not making payments, they're still giving you good history. And, I'll use Megan, my daughter, for an example. Her first year at UNC Charlotte, she about fell out of her chair. She had over a 600 credit score just because of the student loans. And she's like, oh, I didn't even know I had credit. And I'm going, but you've got the student loans. And she didn't have to make payments on it, because while you're in school, there are no payments due. And then when she came out of school, she has 6 months. So her payments won't even kick in until June of this year.
Okay. So we just guys, I want you to realize, Mary just really gave you guys a tip for your kids. If you have a kid that's in school, she just gave you a good tip. One of those is the student loans. If your child do have to have a student loan, the student loan gets to actually go on their credit, right? They don't have to pay for it right now, guys. And then they have that. Mary, actually, what we actually did for our son is yes, we went ahead. He wasn't able to get the student loans, the government student loan, but we went ahead and got one like at one of the bank institutions. Okay, so you can get one there. It goes on there, but then guess what? That doesn't mean that you don't have to pay it now. So how about we take that and we paid it off? That's good credit history of an installment loan. Remember, we're talking about installment loans right now. So that's one of the piece of my son's profile that was needed was installment loans, and you need to have a good installment loans, and she just showed you how to work that. Okay, go ahead, Mary.
But you just made a good point too. What did you do with that loan?
I paid that sucker off.
So now what did that do to that account?
Bam, it made it active, and then his history just continued to go, on it because it's an installment loan.
You paid it in full.
I paid it in full, yes.
Yes. So payments on it would give him the history. Paying it in full now closes that account. That's why you need the mix of credit and having the credit cards, because you pay that installment loan off, and student loans, personal loans, cars, they're all going to get paid off at some point.
Mm-hmm.
That history stops, because if a creditor is not receiving money from you anymore, there's no incentive for them to keep paying to update your credit report. So we'll hang out there, but that's why you've got those dates up there: date open, date of last activity.
God, that was a big piece of playing the credit game, what you just said, because you got to understand, guys, if the credit game is to get you higher and your scores to get higher, you got to pay something.
Exactly.
You got to pay something. So what she's basically saying is not always best to just pay something off, totally off, if you want the higher credit score and if you do not have the other mix.
Right.
Now some of the other mix that she's going to continue to go on, okay, you can balance that, because you mentioned car loans, student loans, and mortgage, right? Mortgage is a part of, are they the three biggest?
They are. They're the three biggest things that people get, and the most common things. And one thing about student loans, while we're on that topic, because where everybody thinks that they're so bad, is those payments kick in and then they end up in default sometimes, or you don't know the payments kicked in yet. You know that 6 months after you come out of school, that payment will start. Before the 6th month, contact them if you haven't found employment that's going to gainfully pay the payment and still leave you a quality of life. Talk to the servicer. There is no reason a student loan should ever go in default, because you can defer it in 12-month increments based on what you can or cannot afford. There's also income-based repayment plans where you have smaller terms, and they can also, depending on the size of the loan, stretch out your payments for like 30 years sometimes. I've seen people take, $200,000 in student loan debt and stretch it out over 30 years so that it doesn't feel so bad. And when it comes to lending, and lenders are counting 1% on government loans, 1% of your student loan balance as a payment, whether you're paying it or not, if it's in deferment. But the loophole to the rule is if you can get the standard repayment or extended standard repayment and it's less, you can count that smaller payment. So a lot of times when they've got more than 20,000, I might have them go and see how long they can stretch it out. And most of them are getting 25 to 30 years. And you take that payment and it's really small. And now you've got some good payment history that we're adding into the mix of things, because it's causing us to make you think outside the box a little bit. But always call them and try to work with them. And they're the easiest entity to work with. If your student loan does go into default, note parents for your kids, have them call the servicer. Most of them will work out a payment arrangement. Some of them as little as $5 a month. And then they make 6 to 9 payments depending on who's servicing the loan. It pulls it back on track. At that point in time, if they can't afford the payment, they can defer it for 12 months. And then they can renew it every year as it comes up, depending on what their finances look like, so that it always stays standing and it doesn't give them a hit, because anything that's government that goes into default is going to hurt your score more than anything else you can do. A mortgage is backed by the government. The student loans are backed by the government. Even things like the money you owe IRS is going to hit your credit when you don't pay them on time. Then you have to go see Terrence.
I know, that's right. You're getting some great information and some good tips. And I know we can go forever about credit, guys. Again, that's why we're going to be doing this on Mondays, not talking about credit, but yes, we're going to be talking about the tax stuff. We're going to bring some of the other wealth individuals. Guys, we have a whole lot of wealth individuals on our team itself, okay? We got professionals on our team, so you're going to hear more of our team members that's been doing this, and their professions coming on and basically, honestly, basically educating us on how to use our membership even more than what it's being used for. Okay. Even just not, yes, we want, the experts going to do what they do, but we want you to also, there's certain things that you can do as well. Okay. So we talked about installment loans, Mary. Now you mentioned revolving credit. On your revolving credit, you're talking about, yes, Selena Stewart, CPA, you will be on here. Just letting you know. All right. You just said, hey, I'm just letting you know you're going to be on here with me. All right. All right. So, so as you get ready. So when we actually looking at little things, guys, as your revolving credit, and we're looking at the revolving credit. Now, those are things, right, Mary, that basically the amount every month can change up and down. Or the revolving. You remember you said something about credit cards and stuff, which can be revolving, but you telling people, and correct me wrong, that you need both of those things, right?
You do. And with credit cards, if I paid it off today, I may lose some points for it when it updates, but at the same time, 6 months down the road, if I'm in an emergency crunch, it's there for me to use. A year down the road, it's there for me to use as long as I take care of that account. And so that adds to the length of history, as well as to I can't even talk tonight, as well as to the utilization. So it's going to hit that 15% piece of the circle where it says length of your credit history. And that's what's going to carry you through time to keep your score active and alive and going. And when you're starting over or just starting out with credit, a lot of times we'll even talk about secured cards. And the reason that we talk about secured cards is it's a great way to jumpstart your credit profile, because it's designed that you're giving them a deposit that's going to become your limit. So there's no risk to the creditor. They're going to actually jumpstart your credit with points as soon as that card hits your accounting. The key thing that I'm telling them, though, is all of the secured cards are pretty much going to have an annual fee that's assessed to it. And so when you activate the card the first month, don't use it. Just let that ride, because it's going to eat up a little over your 10% mark, depending on, if you do as little as $200 on your secured card, or if you do more, depending on the company. But let that ride, because it's enough that it's going to force them to report, and you're using the credit wisely and not just like spending and spending and spending, because it's so easy when you get that first card to say, oh, I've got a limit now. I've got money. I'm going to the mall. I'm going shopping, and you don't want to do that. You want to do it wisely and use only what you have to spend, right? Because if you end up charging up $200 and that bill comes in, you might not have $200 to pay it back. And you want to make sure your utilization stays down so that you get the maximum points and that it's actually doing the work for you. If you went and got an unsecured card, that's new credit. So it's actually going to ding your credit score for a minute, because they have to see how you're going to use it before they can give you a score. And depending on which bureau picks it up, it's going to take up to 6 months for that to actually start hitting your history and doing work for you, which is why the secured card is so important, because it starts from the first day that it hits your credit. So usually within 30 to 45 days, it's on your credit report. And there's certain cards that are out there that are secured that will report 6 times a cycle. So every 30-day cycle, you're getting an update 6 times, and you want to make sure that it's updating a 10% usage versus a 60% usage.
That's the important part, guys, right there. That's important.
It is the important part. And then to the flip side, going back to the utilization, I usually teach people when I'm in classrooms, I'll say, if I give Terrence a card with $500 and he goes to the mall and has date night and shops, and he's jacked that thing all the way up to $500. And then I give another person a card with that same limit, and they're frugal and they're like, I'm just going to put it in my pocket and hold it for a rainy day. At the end of the day, which one of those are going to get the most points when it hits the credit scoring? And 9 out of 10 times people will take the person who's spending money, but it's actually a catch-22. You get no points either way. If you spend $0, I have no incentive as a creditor to update your credit report, because I'm not making any money off of you. And to the flip side, you maxed out that credit card, the next step for you to go is in default or running late on your payments, and I'm going to jack up some fees on you. And it's a high risk. So I'm not going to give any points either. So anytime they're over that 50% mark, they get no points at all because we don't know which direction it's going to go until it comes back down. So it's managing it wisely to keep everything flowing and keep your score growing.
All right, Mary, we got a question here. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So you said so secured credit card is better to start instead of an unsecured card because the unsecured card is considered new credit. Talk about that.
Both lines are going to be new credit, but the unsecured card is actually going to ding your score first. So your points will go down just a little bit, and it's going to kind of freeze. You'll use it wisely and use it wisely, and you won't see anything change. And you're like, why is my score stuck? Because it's unsecured. They have to make sure over a 6-month period that you're going to take care of that card, and it's not just like a one-time thing where you pay it on time and use it right. With the secured card, you're actually giving them the deposit that's credit limit. So even if you defaulted on it, you're using your own money. There is no risk to the lender because they have nothing. They already have your money. And so it's designed to already jumpstart you with points. And then to jumpstart with points, that 10% usage is what it's going to take to get you from where you are upward first billing cycle, anywhere from 20 to 60 points. So it just really depends on like the limit that you set and what your overall profile looks like.
Awesome. Guys, yeah, great. Guys, this time is going quickly because at 7:45, we got business presentation at 7:45. Time is going very, very rapidly. So I want you to understand how this so far, okay? Why MWR actually doing the 35%. Mary actually mentioned the working on your profile. A part of working on your profile, she said a mixture of installment loans and revolving. Okay, so now you know what a couple of those are. She went over a little bit about the debt and having things down. Mary, what is a good target for individuals when you're talking about your amounts owed? Because that's 30% of your score. On the amounts owed, give them some actually targets that they should be trying to actually reach that's going to maximize their score for them.
Actually, if you're going on the amounts owed, Terrence, because it's kind of hard to say, do this and it's going to be exactly the same because there's not a crystal ball for credit and everybody's situation's a little bit different. But, looking at credit cards, really, you need maybe 2 good cards. Of one that's got maybe a $200 or $300 limit, one that maybe $500 or more, and you want to keep your utilization down as low as possible, just not to zero, so that it's actually reporting for you. But
hold on, stop it. Tell them how point again is not what? Zero. So paying it all doesn't do you as well. So you paying it off, trying to cut the credit card up and all that kind of stuff and closing. No. So it's a money game. Remember they said they got to see that it is being used so they can do it. Go ahead, Mary.
All right. And so it's just making sure that you are using that little bit, like Terrence said, so that you keep your score going, keep it alive. You don't miss the reporting cycles because at zero, I have seen cards not report for a couple of months and they'll wait till you spend money again before they actually update your credit profile. So again, you don't need a ton in credit cards. Not saying that it's bad to have one that's got a higher limit because as your profile and your score is growing, your limits are going to also increase with that. And on that point, secured credit cards, if you take care of them for a 1-year period, most of them are going to send you your deposit back. So you've already built your credit profile up and shown that you can manage it. They return your deposit. It becomes an unsecured trade line. So you can still keep it for a long time and have that length of credit going. Terrence, you also wanted me to hit on the Credit Karma stuff.
Yes, talk about that real quick, and that'll probably be actually good end stuff. Tell us this big thing about Credit Karma. We get this free, that free, that free. How good and bad is Credit Karma?
Credit Karma, I always tell people it's a great tool. As a consumer, it teaches you because you can see your score going up and down by how you open accounts, how you make your payments, how you're even using your credit cards. So when you use too much, you'll see your score go down. If you pay late, it definitely is going to go down. If you do things right and pay on time, keep your score or your balance is low on the card, your score is going to go up. So it's a great training tool. It is not going to be 100% accurate to what a lender is going to see because they use a totally different scoring model. Their scoring system actually goes from 0 to 950, where a lender using a FICO scoring system versus their Vantage 3.0 system is going to go from 0 to 850. And credit scores can go in either direction. I've seen it where people have said, I've got a 700 credit score, and I pull their credit and they're in the mid sixes. And I've had someone tell me that they've done everything I told them to do for the past year, and we look at their Credit Karma and they're stuck at 580. And when I pull their credit, they're at 646 or better. So, it's just a teaching tool, but it's not going to be 100% accurate to what the lender is going to see. Any of those free sites are going to give you those same results out there, but use it for the tool that it's intended to be.
Now, you mentioned something about the Credit Karma, as far as when you sign that document and stuff for Credit Karma, what is it?
Oh, I forgot about that. Yes. So when you sign up for those give you your score free sites, you're actually waiving your right to the Fair Credit Reporting Act. So while Credit Max is doing the 35% and working on your history, they're saying you're not going to get a response within 30 days because you've waived your right to the Fair Credit Reporting Act. So now it can take up to 55 days. So sometimes when you think there's a delay in getting responses, it may be because you've signed up for one of those sites, and part of that fine print that everybody misses says that you're going to waive your right. It doesn't mean you're not covered. It just means they have a longer period of time to give you those responses.
Oh, I want somebody to hear that again. I need, guys, this is very important because as you're talking to individuals, as we are, have our financial solutions referral business that we have is awesome when people need a service. And then some people actually say, oh, I can't do this. I can't do this. I want you to hear what she said again. I didn't know that before, but it's very important when you talk about the link. Mary, tell us one more time, just like we just rewind you real quick back and about. Go ahead.
All right. So while Credit Max is working on your payment history, they're trying to work on the things that are negatively reporting on your credit. Just keep in mind that when you go to those free score sites, the fine print says that you waive your right to the Fair Credit Reporting Act. The Fair Credit Reporting Act says that if you challenge something and you ask to validate it, the creditor has 30 days to send you a response. When you waive your right to that, it doesn't mean that you're not covered, but it does mean that it's going to take longer because now creditors can take up to 55 days to send a response. So it takes a little longer to get things back and get answers and validation and stuff because they will take all the way up to 55 days to see if they can package it up with some other stuff that they can't collect on and sell it to someone else who's going to try to list it on your credit because they don't know any better. So just kind of be mindful of those things. But also, if you look in the Credit Max section, in your portal, there is a little link that gives you a discount to Smart Credit, which is powered by TransUnion. That one is actually within about 15 to 20 points of what a lender sees. You get all three bureaus, not just two bureaus. You're not waiving your rights to the Fair Credit Reporting Act because it's powered directly by one of the credit bureaus. And there are tips and tricks in there on boosting your scores. They talk about goodwill forgivenesses when you have an accident and something goes late. And there's all kinds of tips and tricks and a lot of education that comes with it. And it's an app that goes right on your phone. More importantly, unlike Credit Sesame and Credit Karma, it gives you a tool that you not only monitor your credit with, but you monitor your bank accounts with. So anything that happens, and we're in that cyber age where it's very easy. You go to the gas pump, put your card in, and somebody's got your number. They will actually go to work for you because they'll tell you, hey, this has been done at this location. Was this you? You can set the limits in there. And for me, it was really important to have that tool because my husband travels a lot for a living. Our bank accounts got hacked because someone scanned his card at the airport, and it's linked to all of our accounts, mine, his, and at the time, our youngest daughter's. Everything was wiped completely out, and it was negative. And had we had this service, we would have known within 30 seconds because we would have each received a text and an email that these things had happened. At it for as low as $50. So now anything that happens, it tells me when and where it happened. I go in there and I can tell it yes or no, it was or wasn't me. So immediately I can put a stop to things that are fraudulent on there. So it's kind of like your credit monitoring and LifeLock on steroids together. And it's worth the $20 that you spend on it.
Awesome. All right, guys. We're pretty much out of time because we're going to have to go over and stuff and do our watch parties and stuff to basically refer other individuals to our awesome company. But and we're going to have Mary back, guys. These are some of the things, guys, that you can go ahead and actually tell your new members that they're going to get by being a part of your team. Okay, so by being a part of your team, we're going to bring different specialists here to the portfolio so you can utilize this membership, not just about the credit, but in real estate. We got a lot of investors that's a part of our team. They're going to be actually sharing things, as well. Okay. And we will have Mary actually, back soon because we ran out of time actually real quick and stuff as far as doing it. But real quick though, Mary, if somebody is already signed up with the actual Credit Karma and all of those kind of things, what should they do right there? Or is there anything that they should do right now because of that?
If they're already signed up with Credit Karma or one of those other sites, if they've already signed up, there's not much that can be done. Just be aware that, sometimes it might take a little longer. So when you're thinking nothing's happened and you're emailing support going, what's going on? It's because they're waiting on stuff to come back because you have waived the rights. You're still covered. It's just going to take longer. That's all.
Awesome. So what Mary mentioned, guys, the smart credit that's back there in the back office while Credit Max doing this thing, you could use that because it's deal directly with the TransUnion, okay, is the way to do that. But we're going to be talking about this. We're going to be breaking this down even more because it's got tricks all over that we're going to give you the credit trips. We're going to give you the tax trips. We're going to give you the retirement trips. We're going to give you the debt trips because we got too many specialists on our team. Okay, we got so many specialists on our team that's willing to share their gift. They've been doing this for a long time in their own profession, okay, in doing so, okay? So, yes, Jeff actually said, Mary, you're right. Jeff said, Mary, yes, it's my girl, guys. See her, guys, on Fridays with us, on Coffee and Cash Flow, on Sunday mornings, print up on the Facebook page. She gives out information all week long on those sites also, guys, on the radio and stuff actually with us, all right? Mary, I appreciate you for actually being over here. You're right. Awesome. Thanks being a part of the team, of Team No Limit, for giving your information to everybody so they can be educated as well. All right, guys. We're going to go over to the MWR Team No Limit. MWR Team No Limit, you're going to start your watch parties as those individuals are getting ready to start that watch parties. Okay, guys, remember, 7:45 tonight as well as 10 o'clock tonight. Refer individuals, guys, so that you can get that commission as well. Keep doing the business, guys. And with that being said, as always, this is T-Hawk, and I'm out. Have a great day, guys. Goodbye.
Bye.